Hello and welcome to Deborah Cowell Yoga. Today we're going to look at different variations of down dog. So oftentimes what I hear is people complaining that their wrists hurt when they're in down dog for any length of time. And this is very common, especially for people that are really tight in the shoulders. So it's not so much that the wrists are the issue here. It's the shoulders that are tight. So until you can get to that point where you have that freedom, and it will come as you practice, you keep practicing and perhaps work on opening up the shoulders, the back, and the heart area. So if you would like to warm up with the video that is for the shoulders, you can do that. And we will work on different variations. So if this is you and you find that you cannot hold down dog at all and it's too much pressure on your hands, then try these different options. So to begin with, just think of taking the shoulders down and back. So sitting tall and then just taking the shoulders down and back. You can feel the scapula moving down like that. So that's how you want your down dog to feel. And if you take your arms out, you can externally rotate your arms and draw them in and then turn your hands down so that you're protecting the shoulder, keeping the scapula down. So we're going to begin with just placing our hands on the mat. And you want to cover as much of the mat as you can when you open your hands, because obviously that's going to take less pressure when you have more space covered. And really ground down through your index finger and thumb, almost as if you were creating a suction cup in the palm of your hand. And then again, bring those shoulders down the back, and we're going to begin with a half dog or a puppy dog. So just place your hands out and bring your tail right up to the sky and come down. So you may have to walk your knees back a little bit. And that's how you want your shoulders to feel here. You want to feel them open up. And just come to your breath. Feel your breath moving. So just relax the shoulders. Take the tail up and breathe. So that is an option for you if you can't quite make it into down dog. And from here you can still come into your lunges. You can bring your foot forward and come into a low lunge that way, and then come into a high lunge. So you can still do pretty well everything you can in a full down dog. So try that. And the next option we're going to do is we're going to do one against the wall. So maybe you have some knee issues as well that doesn't enable you to get down to the floor. So you can do your down dog against a wall. And if you measure from the wall to where your feet, your heels touch the floor, that's about how far you want to stand away from the wall. So I'm going to stand right at the edge of my mat here, and I'm going to place my hands about shoulder height and shoulder width apart. So again, place the fingers wide on the wall, and then just start to soften the shoulders down and back, releasing the head between the shoulders. and breathing. And you can still, again, come into your warrior poses from the wall. And that's always a nice thing to do if you need to take a break, if you're at work, just to kind of open up your shoulders and release your back. It feels really good. Down dogs are really good for bringing your spine into alignment. So that's a good one to do. You could do that at work, take a break, and come to the wall. The other thing that you could do is you could use a chair. So whatever kind of dog that you need to do, you could do this kind of dog. And again, stand with your feet about the length of your legs to the hips. And we're going to, again, place the hands wide on the mat and really ground down through the feet. And again, take those shoulder blades down the back, lengthen out, and then sink down. So just let your head and neck release between your arms and come to your breath. So this is another option of a down dog. And from here you can still come into a vinyasa. You can bring your foot forward and, come into your warriors this way. So that's an option as well. You don't have to be restricted just because you can't get down on the floor. So the other option too, if you're really, really tight, is you can turn the chair around, again, standing about the length of your hips. And maybe inhaling, lifting the arms, finding length first, and then placing your hands on the back of the chair. You won't be able to open your hands here, but you can still get a pretty good dog this way. And then coming down. So that's an option as well. And if you need to keep your knees bent, you can keep your knees bent. That's always a good thing to do too. If you're very tight in the hamstrings or your Achilles is very tight here, you can and just keep your knees bent. And again, you can walk forward and come into any kind of vinyasa from there. So those are two options, or three options actually, and then we're going to come right down to the floor and do a down dog. And again, there's different ways of coming into your down dog. So keep your hands wide again, bring those shoulders down the back, and think of lengthening here. Take a nice inhale and exhale, draw the navel up into the spine and come up. And just stay on the balls of your heels here for a moment. Taking the shoulders back and really lifting the tail up into the sky. So this is an option if your hamstrings are really tight, just keep your knees bent so that you can take that length down the back and the pressure out of your hands. So that's a good way to do it. And you may just want to walk your dog with your breath. And once you start to loosen up, then you can start to push back with your hands and up into the tail. And you can maybe wiggle your dog around a little bit just to neutralize your spine. And then come down. So, I hoped you liked those dogs. So there's a dog for everyone. You can find which dog that you like the best, and maybe you can work on taming your dog and have it obedience trained so that you can enjoy a full dog. So that was our little mini class today. Namaste.